Beer geeks, not beer snobs.
No.
That's how the owners of CityWorks describe themselves.
Really?
That's right up our alley.
Yeah, it is.
CityWorks, Disney Springs, 90 beers on tap?
They say.
They say. Well, we're gonna find out. Let's check it out. Welcome back. CityWorks, Eatery and Poorhouse.
Poorhouse and Eatery?
Poorhouse and Eatery. Disney Springs. Craft beer, American fare. It's all about the beer from what we understand. Well, not just understand. We've been here a few times, so we know. They claim 90-something beers on draft.
Oh.
Lots of Florida craft beers, as well as other craft beers.
I don't think there's 90.
But it's definitely still, about the beer.
Really good. Yeah.
I think they have 10 locations. So now the newest location for CityWorks is Disney Springs. Right next to the NBA Experience.
Correct. Across from the House of Blues.
So at the end by Cirque du Soleil.
Yes.
Soon to open with a new show.
Yeah, in a couple weeks.
So we've been here a few times. First time we had some great craft beer and just an appetizer, right?
Yeah, I'm sitting here like freaking out because we each have full beers in front of us and like he's jabbing away and I want to cheers.
We have drinks because that's what we do. That's what we do. Cheers.
Yes.
All right, so first the beers then. I have a sour. It's actually called Cherry Lime Sour from Wicked Weed Brewing. And what do you have? Do you know?
I have the Left Hand Milk Stout from Left Hand Brewing.
You like that. It's a really well done milk stout. So milk stout.
One of my favorites.
Lactose sugar, so it leaves some creamy sweetness
Coffee,
after brewing.
Creamy deliciousness.
So again, CityWorks, West. I think it's the west side. What they call this part of Disney Springs, next to the NBA Experience, across from the House of Blues. American fare?
Yes.
Steaks, cheeseburgers, chicken.
Yes. Little bit like bumped up, like pub fare up a notch, almost. Right? Wouldn't you say?
A little bit higher end pub fare.
We waited a long time for this place to open.
We did, and we've been here a few times. So the decor, I guess, I don't know, modern, industrial, maybe just modern,
I like it.
Warm. It's a lot of wood, copper bars. The beer lists are up on large boards on both sides of the interior bar. Lots of
ginormous TVs everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of big screen TVs. So I assume a good place to watch the game or any sporting event. Maybe they don't play the sound, so if you wanted to see a game with the sound, maybe not the best place, but definitely lots of screens.
Loads of TVs, yes.
Indoor seating, outdoor seating, so there's a patio.
Bars everywhere.
Yeah, there's 3 bars, although the one we're at you could consider 2 because
it's indoor
and outside. So there's a bar outside at the end by Cirque du Soleil. There's an indoor and outdoor bar here right across from the smokehouse, which is the barbecue at House of Blues. And then there's a indoor bar that runs the whole length of the place. And I think they have a pretty good alcohol selection. There's like a regular bar here as well.
They do. They have a lot of whiskey, I noticed. We haven't really perused it, but just in passing, it looked like they have a lot of whiskey. Just saying.
Been here a few times. Once we were here and just had an appetizer.
We had the buffalo chicken dip.
And it was very...
We like hot, spicy things, but that was so hot. You did not enjoy it.
It was just over the threshold of being too hot for me. And actually, we were talking to a bartender at one point, and he was like, they make it from scratch, and they make it in a pretty good size batch.
Right.
He's like, so depending upon how they stir it, maybe
Right.
some batches or some
right.
part of it might be warmer than others. But it was just over the threshold of being
But delicious, like giant
delicious.
chunks of chicken in there.
Lots
like,
of chicken.
Really good. Yeah.
And the second time we were here, we
got the filet sliders.
filet sliders.
Ooh, served on a pretzel bun.
We like our filet sliders.
We do.
We were
do.
big fans of the filet slider, the filet sliders at Splitsville. So we almost didn't want to get them
We were
here
afraid to get them here.
because we were like, they're
at
not going to live up
first.
to like those filet sliders at Splitsville, but they did.
Oh, so good.
They were
so
really
good. Yeah.
And then
And then
the third visit, we got the steak sandwich.
Well, first wait.
Oh,
pump the
no, we
brakes,
had an appetizer.
Pump the brakes, right? We got the popcorn chicken with Nashville hot sauce.
Nashville hot sauce. Not as hot as the buffalo chicken dip we had.
It was good though.
Different, a little bit different hot. They were good, but
usually
I
when
was on fire.
Yeah, you were. You drank like all your water while we were eating that. Usually when I think of popcorn chicken, I think of like overly breaded little tiny balls of chicken, but this wasn't like that at all. It almost wasn't really breaded at all. In a good way.
Well, the
like
bread,
I was
the
glad
breading
for
was
that.
very minimal, and it was pretty crispy. Like it was crispy.
Right. It wasn't like you almost didn't even notice that it was
But when
breaded.
you got to the last few pieces of chicken at the bottom of the little basket, they were just dripping in that sauce. And
Woo!
woo!
It was good.
It was good.
I liked it.
And then we had
The steak sandwich.
the steak sandwich, which was good, but you weren't a big fan of.
I'm not usually prone to, or I don't know if prone to is the right word to use. I don't generally order a steak sandwich, but we decided we were going to split something. We decided on the steak sandwich. I was expecting like really thin sliced steak.
Of steak. Oh, you thought like shaved steak, maybe?
Kinda. That's what I was picturing in my mind when we ordered it. And that's not what it was at all. It was like a half-inch thick, like cut of steak, and it was okay.
So it was described as a steak sandwich with French onion soup style onions,
Right.
which it had that.
Totally tasted like French onion soup. Yes,
It reminded me a little bit of like a French dip sandwich, but
you said that.
and then it was on ciabatta.
ciabatta bread. Yes.
So it was good.
But the best part was that when we said we were going to split it, when they brought it out, it came on 2 separate plates with each our own little order of fries and ketchup.
So we do that
I
a
thought
lot.
that
We'll
was kinda
split an entree, and when you're at a really decent restaurant that knows their stuff, some places will bring the entree and they'll bring you an extra plate, which is fine.
Yeah.
But some places will
Split
literally
for you.
bring it out split on 2 plates, which they
Yeah.
did here. So
We appreciate
bonus
that.
points for that.
Yep.
90-something beers, or so they say, but a lot of beers.
Right.
A lot of Central Florida craft beers.
Yep. Which is
A,
great.
a lot of them we're familiar with, so we know they're good beer. So if you're like a beer person and you've had a lot of Central Florida beers, you'll probably have had a good portion of them. But even for us who go to a lot of breweries, drink a lot of Central Florida beer, there's still a good half dozen or so that we had never had, so it works out good.
And also to that point, it's probably the best craft beer selection on Disney property. Like, where else are you going to go to find all these on Disney property?
Absolutely.
Right.
So again, the craft beer game has been improved here when they opened the Baseline Tap House at the
Yes.
studios.
We
some,
love it.
Some good California craft beers, so that was a good addition. But this changes the craft beer game at Walt Disney World for sure.
Fair to say it's one of our new favorites.
One of our new favorites. Pretty big place, lots of seating. Again, indoor, outdoor, 3 bars. So CityWorks, definitely worth checking it out. Let us know if you've been here, what your experience was. If you're into craft beer and good food,
Come to CityWorks.
can't go wrong, right?
Right.